I love it. Hey, this is beautiful. Listen, I want to play. I'm over here. I'm doing absolutely nothing. Guess who I'm impersonating? That is my Conor walkout.
What's up, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Good Guy, Bad Guy. I'm Daniel Cormier, and that's Chael Sonnen. Chael, it looks like you're still in Las Vegas. Is the vacation not over yet, man? What is going on?
Yeah, I'm sticking around. I was jealous. Everybody got to have so much fun, and I felt like there was some hustle. I want to stick around, maybe enjoy the pool myself a little bit later today.
It is unfortunate that you're going to go there and take your shirt off. All these gentlemen that are there with their women will have to be on the lookout now because the bad guy is walking around a pool in Las Vegas with no shirt on. Chill, it is an unfair world. Now, let me tell you something. Sometimes the world can be unfair, but sometimes the world can also just be beautiful. And you know why the world is beautiful to me right now? Because Alex Pereira, who not only is a fantastic fighter, but an all-around good guy, is absolutely ruling the light heavyweight division and really all of mixed martial arts. Chill. This guy continues to raise the bar. My question to you becomes this, because we all break him down time and time again, the head kick, we're going to get into a long conversation in regards to the champ. But my question to you is this, Joe. When you look at Alex Pereira, is this guy, one, the face of the UFC, and two, the scariest guy in light heavyweight and possibly light heavyweight history?
Daniel, he is going to be, and hear me out on this. I believe his skills are there. I believe what he has done is unmatched. But everybody that has fought him so far has fought him. Like Jiri Prochazka did what Jiri should have done. He fought well. He looked good. He was stoic. He stepped into range. He didn't go for any takedowns, but just so you understand, that's because he tried in the first fight and he realized that type of energy, that squeeze isn't worth the juice. I tell you that Jiri went out there and fought. He got caught. It's a power ratio. He ends up getting knocked out not only once, but twice, right? Like, people have short-term memories. They think that Alex has now knocked out Jiri twice. Well, he's actually knocked him out 3 times. But the reason I'm telling you that, Jiri did go out and fight him. So did Izzy, and so did everybody else. Daniel, I will submit for you that in a very short order, guys are not going to be fighting Pereira. I believe that Pereira has the same influence that Mike Tyson had when I was growing up, or Anderson Silva had when you and I were competing, where guys would leave their skills in the locker room. They already was predetermined. They knew they weren't going to beat him. And that, Daniel, is when he becomes the scariest guy in the UFC.
You know who I spoke to? Tyrone Spall, who is a world-class kickboxer also. And he was telling me, he goes, these guys are so afraid, Daniel, that when they go out there, they can't even compete against him. And Chael, the only reason I bring that up is because you just mentioned Mike Tyson. It was all about the fear that guys had. Dude, Bruce Seldon was a tough man. Look, brothers back in the 70s, big, strong dudes, 80s, flat top. Bruce Seldon, if you saw that man walking down the street, you would be intimidated. But when he saw Mike Tyson, he saw another person that he was afraid of. So then when he got in there to fight him, it wasn't even competitive for a second. I feel like now Pereira is starting to get to a point where he is striking so much fear in his competition that they don't know how to approach him. And we saw that with Jiri Prochazka. In the first fight, Chael, Jiri Prochazka was able to get a takedown. He won the first round on all the judges' scorecards. He was winning the second round, doing really well. Last Saturday, it was a complete wipeout. He was not competitive. He did not have moments. He looked lost in there against Alex Pereira because every time he even had a thought of starting, Pereira was there to not only stop him, but make him pay for even having the thought to start. It was the craziest thing to watch him just stymie a guy that beats everybody else. You know, what's most impressive about Pereira is this. He's beating up on Jiri Prochazka, and Jiri Prochazka beats up on everybody else, and it's not even close, Chael. That was what was most impressive from last Saturday. The fact that he went from fight 1 to fight 2 against the same guy that beat him at moments on short notice with no training camp, and he spread it. He opened up the space between them as competitors to the point that Jiri Prochazka said, if I don't get better and elevate to the next level, I got to walk away from fighting. That's a tough truth to accept as a former champion.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I don't know that Jiri needs to get better. I don't know what it was that he did wrong. I mean, when you have that kind of power, not for nothing, but Jiri never follows the basics of keep your hands up and your chin down. He went out and fought like Jiri. Like, I don't really have an overly hard time with it. Like, I feel like I'm his coaches or trainers. I don't feel disrespected or like he didn't follow the plan. Jiri has also never lost a rematch. That's a little Chael statistic that I found, but I only share that because he has proven and demonstrated that he can learn from those first matches. You and I had referenced the King Mo, a couple of battles there, just for example. And the reason I want to tell you that, Daniel, is I've just never seen anything like Pereira. And I don't just mean in our sport like his praise. When Randy Couture came in, they called him the natural. He was 34 years old. That was at a different time, though, when a dominant wrestler oftentimes came over and was very dominant in our sport. Pereira at 36 years old, 35 when he became the world championship. I've never seen anybody in football, in baseball, in tennis, in hockey, in swimming. I run through the gears. I've never seen anybody, no matter what their background, go into a different sport and become the best in the world. It is truly a shocking thing. And I'm trying to watch this guy, Daniel, and I'm trying to really figure out what does he do that's different, because there's not a lot there. He's not overly like dynamic. Like John Jones will hit techniques that you and Anik and Joe Rogan are stuck going, what do we even tell the audience that's called? Like, you know, go out and do these new things. Everything Pereira does, the lead kick is to distract you, the rear kick is to hurt you, and then you got the hands you're going to have to worry about either coming to the body or head. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But Daniel, he doesn't flinch. And that might sound small, but I got to get small. I've studied this guy 20 times. I can't figure it out. He doesn't flinch. You get in there. You're in the fire. You start fainting him. You start raising hands. He doesn't move. He doesn't jump. He's very calm. Part of that stoicness does allow his conditioning. It does allow him to go harder, longer. He doesn't appear to be intimidated at all to go 5 rounds. He knows right where he's at. He gets better as the fight goes on. I've just never really seen anything like it. But I want to extend that comment, not just in our sport. I've never seen it in sport. I'm open to being corrected. I'm challenging you and our fans in the comment section. If you remember an athlete that did it this late in life, 36 years old, please tell me who it was.
Chael, you know what's crazy? When we talk about him, doesn't it feel like we're doing him a disservice? Because we really can't truly explain to people, which is our job, how special this is. Like, I always look, we love to talk, and we're searching for words to explain what this man is doing. I don't know how you can praise someone so much, but still feel like you're not doing enough. That is what it feels like when Alex Pereira fights and when the fight is over. Now, chill. I got a very interesting text message right after the fight that I want to get into with you as we get into what type of fight will give him problems. But before we get to that, every time one of these guys fight, the argument of pound for pound is brought up because they look so dynamic, they look so dominant, they look so good. Same thing happened with Makhachev fought. Now Pereira fights, and everybody's like, well, is this guy pound for pound? They bring it to Dana White. Dana White has been steadfast in his belief that John Jones is the guy. This is what he had to say last Saturday.
No matter what you think of John Jones, he's the best ever, and he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And he's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Yeah. Well, except that he hasn't fought in the last year, so he's not.
Because he got hurt. He got injured.
But if you don't...
If you were coming into a fight and you got hurt, that means you're not the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world anymore? How does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense.
When he fights,
right? If he was sitting out and getting arrested and running around or whatever, and you're like, you know, well, John Jones is inactive, I'd say, maybe you're right. But as an educated adult who knows the fight business, you cannot deny that while John Jones is active, he is the greatest fighter in the world.
Did I not say that?
Yes. I don't know what you're arguing about here. I don't even know how we're in this conversation.
Okay, so here are the pound for pound rankings. Islam Makhachev, number 1. John Jones, 2. Leon Edwards, Alex Pereira, and Ilia Topuria at number 5. Chill. I get Dana's argument. But ultimately, what pound for pound means, or at least by definition, it is a style of fighting that, regardless of weight class, will translate. John Jones has now proven by becoming the heavyweight champ and the light heavyweight champion that his fighting style does translate weight class. But so has Alex Pereira. He was the middleweight champ. He's the light heavyweight champion. But make no mistake about it, while they're asking the question, no one is as adamant about Alex being number one pound for pound as they are about Makhachev. And that's because Alex doesn't feel like he's the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. But with that being said, Chael, how close is Alex Pereira to being considered the pound for pound best fighter in the world, especially whenever they start bringing up the idea that he could go and fight for the heavyweight championship? Because if he becomes the heavyweight champ, then not only is he pound for pound number one, he's pound for pound of all time. He's pound for pound greatest of all time. Shut down the pound for pound rankings for always, because it will always belong to Alex Pereira.
We will stop talking about GOAT. If he does win the heavyweight championship, we will not talk about GOAT. When it's time to talk about GOAT, we will just say Alex Pereira. That is true. And that's really remarkable because we love to fight about that. I mean, you saw Kevin Iole and Dana White just going at it. We played it here on ESPN. We love that topic. You were right. Without exaggeration, it ends if he can do that. Now, hold on, Daniel. I want to just back up, partner, because you had said something. Hey, Chael, doesn't it feel like a disservice when we talk about Pereira? We're the experts here, and we don't really know how to explain it. Hey, I was in Bristol. I was in the world headquarters, hired to do a job. I was going to go out and explain to the audience, John Jones had just got done beating OSP. It is the worst John has ever fought. It was never got. He won every single round. On a bad night, he was the best in the world, all 5 rounds. I was just about to go out and I was telling Gilbert Melendez what I was going to say. I was going to go tell the world he is chosen by God. I had no other explanation. I had to catch myself and realize, my God, that's not an analysis. You can't go and do it. But Daniel, I just never seen anything like it. You know why I love to bring up John Jones in this? I went to him over the weekend. I wanted to be the big hero of our show today. I knew this topic was going to be here. And I said, John, what is it you're seeing when you watch this guy, right? Like, John is a brilliant artist. There's another brilliant artist, and I can't relate in all my time. What do you see when you see this man? I got bubbles, but he never hit send. I don't have the text back. I don't know what John was thinking. I don't know what he was saying. And I wanted to so badly. I feel like he typed it out. You know, the bubbles were there for, and I just feel like he didn't press send. Or maybe he got somewhere where the connection wasn't there. And Daniel, I will tell you this. I think that Pereira is very serious. I took him at his word at UFC 300 when he was offered to go up and take on Aspinall. I do not think that's a bluff. Nobody wants to fight Jiri Prochazka, particularly a second time, particularly on short notice. Like, there's just nothing there to gain. This guy's not joking around. When he says, I'll always be ready and I will fight anybody, he really means it. Is he good enough for John Jones and Aspinall? I mean, look, that's yet to be proven. But as far as what you're saying about the one guy that we currently have, even in front of John, like, John can't go down to 185. The only guy that we have that realistically could even be given the opportunity to end the conversation of greatest ever is a guy that's only had 11 fights from a kickboxing background that weighs, or I apologize, is at an age of 36 years old. It's unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in sport.
I've never seen anything like it in sport. And Chael, we're going to discuss his path to the heavyweight championship. But I was telling you, I got an interesting text message the other day, because when I look at the light heavyweight landscape, look at the top 5, and he's beaten on Jiri twice. He's beat Jamal, who is also the top 5. Rakic is a striker. Blachowicz is a striker. Johnny Walker is a striker. The only one that isn't Khalil Rountree is a striker. The only one that has any wrestling is Ankalaev. But Ankalaev isn't technically a wrestler. He is a striker who has said he is going to knock Alex Poatan Pereira out. He said, congrats, champ. I'm very impressed, but the boss always says it's the sport of opportunities, and all I want is an opportunity, and I don't need wrestling. I have enough skills in striking to test your chin. I believe that I will knock you out. Chill. The text message I received was this, Chael. It said, light heavyweight top 5. And it showed that. And then it said, light heavyweight top 5 from 5 years ago or 6 years ago. Chael, the top 5 was me, wrestler, Jones, wrestler. Glover Teixeira, wrestler. Phil Davis, wrestler. Ryan Bader, wrestler. Glover Teixeira, Alexander Gustafsson, who had sneaky good wrestling. 6 top guys in the world were all wrestlers. I look at this weight class right now, Jill, and I see no wrestlers. I don't see any wrestlers all the way to 10. Number 6 guy in the world is Nikita Krylov. If nobody wrestles this guy, Jill, how long can Alex Pereira reign atop this division? Because it feels like if you're forced to stand with him and strike with him, you really have no chance. How in the world, Chael, did all wrestlers that weigh around 230 pounds just not end up in this weight class anymore?
Yeah. And Daniel, I'm telling you, please mark these words. It is going to get easier. Guys are going to start folding. The Mike Tyson effect, the Cain Velasquez effect, the Anderson Silva. I mean, I really can't name any more in my lifetime. It's a really rare thing. They're going to start buckling. Now, I will concede to Ankalaev, and I don't want to overly sell that fight. I'm not convinced that Ankalaev's the right guy, but you've either got to put Ankalaev in there, get Pereira out of the division, or find someone to beat Ankalaev. And believe it or not, the one matchup that beats Ankalaev or gives him the biggest problem is Rachik, who's coming off a loss, so they're probably not going to put that together. My point is this. Pereira has proven just about everything that you can do in such a short career, 10, 11, 12 fights, but he has not had a dominant wrestler. He just hasn't had that yet. And I do think that's an interesting challenge. Pereira's not afraid of it.
There aren't any. There aren't any dominant wrestlers. There aren't any.
I'm just in the bracket. I'm conceding the young man from Dagestan. I admit that he doesn't have the background, and I just think it might be one of those interesting things where there's really not going to be much left for us to discuss. He will go into that Michael Jordan type realm where you're not watching him because you want to know the outcome. You're watching him for his greatness. Dale, I've never watched fighting for that. I don't like it, and I'm just sharing for you. I mean, that is how unique this guy is. He's got some word called chama. I don't even know what it means. I found myself saying it this morning. I was embarrassed. The guy's cool, man. I'm buying into the gimmick. Like, I feel he could go and represent his country in war, and the other country better hope he doesn't show up. I feel like he could get dropped into a remote village somewhere, and that village will eat every day. I don't know where he's going to get the food. I don't know how he's going to do it. I am buying into this whole thing, man. This guy has sold me. He's an 85-pounder. Excuse me. He's a big light heavyweight. He was an 85-pounder one calendar year ago. He's not going to be a small heavyweight when that time comes around. Like, there is nothing about this that makes sense. I'm not talking about a 17-year-old, and then he turned 25 and his body matured. The man is 36 years old. When I was growing up, Dan, in 1992, we had an Olympian, one of the great athletes ever as far as DNA goes. A wrestler for Dan Gable's Iowa Hawkeyes. His name is Chris Campbell. He made the Olympic team at 36, and they called him Grandpa. The entire Olympic team, not just the U.S., the announcers called him Grandpa. He was so old. That's how old Pierre is right now, and he ain't going nowhere, partner.
He ain't going nowhere. Chill. You know, Alex Pereira has done some crazy things. And you know when an athlete begins to cross over into a realm of something we haven't seen much? Jiri Prochazka has convinced himself, Chill, that Alex Pereira is doing voodoo. He is literally convinced that Alex is doing voodoo, and he's using demonic magic. Chill, he was in the octagon. Jiri's so weird, but like, I love Jiri, man. He's the best. Jiri actually, when he left the scale after he was going Pereira shook his hand, Chill. He walked off and made a sign of the cross. Then he walked up the stage and Jiri said, he was trying to do something. I could see it in his eyes. All I want is a fair fight. He thinks that the gods are guiding this man into the octagon. Chill. And look at this, Chill. When Jiri was in the octagon and Alex's music is playing, Jiri is literally in the middle of the octagon, Chill, reaching up like the Ultimate Warrior, pulling in. He's pulling in the spirits and bringing it inside of himself. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Dude, Alex Pereira has now become the stuff of legend, and the only thing that could elevate him anymore, and we never would have thought it, is he becomes the heavyweight champion. Because if he continues to beat the light heavyweights, it'll be like, well, now we expect him to beat the light heavyweights. But what is the path, Chael? Should he try it? Should he? I don't think we'll ever see anybody as close or have the opportunity to chase 3 championships. Should Chael Pereira at least make an attempt? Granted, we're talking about a guy that never even defended the middleweight championship, Chael. He never defended it. He lost it right back to Izzy. But now we're talking about a guy that's defended the light heavyweight twice. And we're wondering, should this man go up to heavyweight and try, Chael, to become a 3-division champion?
The largest voice in entertainment is Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan got that started. I mean, not for nothing, but this is how things happen. It usually starts real small on the internet, and then a fire grows. They call that going viral. Well, we started with the guy that goes viral. So this is a real discussion today, Daniel. It's not just you and I, and this is how these things become. Now, if you look at the landscape of heavyweight, it's a little bit complex. We have a heavyweight champion, but we've got an interim champion, and he's going to defend against somebody else, but he's defending the interim belt. And I'm just sharing with you, like, I don't quite know where we would move Pereira, and when would we move him there? I think they're real steadfast about Stipe and Jones is going to happen. I think we all agree on that. Okay, let's push that aside. It still opens up the interim opportunity, but then it kind of feels like you're doing 2 divisions. So yeah, I love the idea. I do want to do it. I think it's too big of a risk. I think putting him in there with Uncle Lai, and just on the mere fact that they could get up and switch chairs isn't worth it. I'd rather take him out of the division, move him to heavyweight, see how he does up there. They run that risk, and that's not the way that Dana and Hunter's minds work. I'm just sharing for you that for conversation, I think that it is relevant. I love the idea that he has the opportunity. He saved the last 2 shows in the fight capital of the world, which is Las Vegas. That's UFC 300 and UFC 303. He's owed something. Now, he hasn't come out and asked for it on his behalf, but I think it's because he doesn't know who to ask it of. Do I ask it of Aspinall, or do I ask it of Jones?
Chael, you know what's funny to me is, like, in the UFC, when you are called on, at times it grants you favor, as in most businesses. Pereira has a lot of good favor with the company right now, and so if he was to go, hey, I think we should do this, I think it would happen. Especially, Chael, I was going to ask you this, but granted that you touched on it a little bit, I tend to kind of agree. I believe that Ankalaev is the right fight. You test him against the best guy, but there's a lot of risk involved because he has got so much momentum right now that if Ankalaev beats him, he loses a little bit of that mystique that he has. And Ankalaev could beat him. He's really good. But to move him up to heavyweight, he's playing with Hoffman's money, because if he loses, then he just goes back to light heavyweight and defends the championship. But if he wins, he goes to a world that we can't even comprehend, Chael. But I was going to say that as a promoter, do you do the Ankalaev fight? I would, because I think you have to do what's right for the fight game. But if I'm given an option and it's A or B, Aspinall Blades winner versus Pereira in New York City, I think I'm doing that. Plus, I'm doing it on the same night as Stipe versus Jones, because if they fight in New York, then you have 2 heavyweight championship fights on the same fight card, and then you build your next fight. You go Stipe Jones, Pereira versus Blades Aspinall winner. Could you imagine? New York City, they say that the Garden is the mecca of sports, and heavyweight fights are born in Madison Square Garden. Legends are made there as heavyweight fighters. Imagine if the UFC went there with 2 heavyweight title fights on the same night, essentially a bracket that leads to, let's see. So November, that leads to that great March, April card that the UFC always have in Vegas. Could you imagine that? Oh man.
Yeah. Even back up a
that's
few weeks.
matchmaking there, Chael.
Go Super Bowl weekend. Hey, I love everything you said. I'll just play a little bit of devil's advocate for fun. Okay. Had you not said that, that's what I would have said. But here would be the part B. Pereira's not by the book. Okay. He got to light heavyweight by losing at middleweight. So I'll just tell you, Dana White that does not like to take a guy out of his division. Now, he's gotten away from that a little bit more over the last half a decade, but he really doesn't like that policy. You know what? You put him against Ankalaev. Let's say the worst thing happens, Pereira loses. That's how you get him to heavyweight. It's the same way that he got to light heavyweight. Now, he might have to fight somebody in between, but if he gets a victory, he's already shown that path once. One victory at heavyweight, that's what would draw him right into the heavyweight championship, and it would still be a champ situation. Look, I know that doesn't sound right. The guy that loses to Ankalaev, he moves up, but the guy that lost to Izzy went and moved up. Okay, then he had to deal with the guy that Izzy couldn't deal with it in Jan Blachowicz, and he went out and found a way. So, I mean, the rules don't totally apply to this Alex Pereira, and I can only imagine a 36-year-old body. I got to imagine that he's tired. I got to imagine that he's worn down. I got to imagine he's going to be tired of cutting weight. I think we've got a heavyweight on our hands. I think it's sooner than later. Oh, by the way, there's a little bit of something in my tone, and I feel like yours as well. We're saying that we think Ankalaev would beat him. That might be a little bit disrespectful, but there is something about that matchup, in fairness, that would make Pereira fans a little uneasy.
Yeah, it would make you uneasy. But to doubt Pereira is, you know what's sad too? The fact that it's coming off that we might think that he'll lose to Ankalaev, he will actually insist on fighting Ankalaev.
Yep.
And then with the way things have been going lately, he would probably destroy Ankalaev. And then if he beats Ankalaev, I'm serious, man. I don't know with the state of the division who's gonna get this dude. It's crazy stuff. Hey, chill. Before we move on to topic 2, Jiri Prochazka, shamanic magic, drawing it back into himself. It was literally. Can you believe Jiri, man? That dude.
I don't want him to be too hard on himself. Dan, I didn't like what he said. I didn't like when he came out and he said, I'm either going to get better or quit. I say, hey, Jiri, time out a second. I'm sure you're a little down. You did a lot of things right, not to mention you showed courage, not to mention you took on a short notice. Like, there wasn't a whole lot of things in his favor. You know how hard it is to go and fight a guy that just starched you? He went and stood with him. I mean, Jiri did believe. He did train the right way. He did think he had it. I don't want him to be too down on himself. There are mules out there. Okay, there is livestock that couldn't have taken that shot, not follow it, after it was followed up by the kick. Come on. Special guy, special fight. Jiri, relax, please.
He's a special fighter. And honestly, Jiri would be favored against most other light heavyweights in the division. So there is still possibly a path to a championship for Jiri Prochazka. Well, Michael Chandler was supposed to fight last weekend against Conor McGregor. Michael Chandler was in attendance. He was asked by Brandon Komodo, does he regret anything in the build to the Conor McGregor fight? This is what Michael had to say.
I think it has the potential to do that. I mean, we're human beings. We are prone to wander. We are prone to have those, think about what we could or could not have done differently, and do we have regret from it? I can tell you, I do not regret a thing about this process. I do believe the way that I have responded to how I have lived this out and how I have responded through every single aspect of this should be a blueprint for a lot of people to look to in how to handle uncertainty in your life. So if I got to be that guy who's got to climb this hill, maybe die on that hill, we'll find out, then so be it.
Well,
enough.
I mean, Dan, I got to tell you, if you get the fight.
Enough. We're tired of it. Enough. We don't need the positivity. We don't need you to tell us that through hard things is good. Hey, every rainy day, the sun ultimately comes out. Guys, if you put one foot in front of the other, eventually you get to the finish line. Enough. Enough.
It's not quite like
you can be pissed off.
The aspiring single mother singer that moves to Nashville and picks up a double shift as a waitress. It's not really like that, okay? You're waiting for the biggest paycheck against a dude that hasn't won a fight in 6 years. I mean, not for nothing. You're not like trying to take the biggest risk and go out there. Now, I do got to tell you, as far as Chandler goes, I think he's doing a good job, and I find Michael Chandler to be very entertaining. But the other side of what he just said right there, while he was punching his own ticket and shining his own wheels up, look, if you end up with the fight, and it is an easy fight, and it is a really big payday, it turns out in hindsight, good job. But if you don't, you're just unemployed. And for the last 2 years, Michael Chandler has been unemployed. He's showing up to work, but he's not punching the clock. Man, if I'm going to UFC, I am getting in that octagon, and I'm getting PAID. I'm a prize fighter. My wife's not letting me leave town if I'm not bringing a check home. I mean, I'm just sharing with you. At some point, we have got to get on with it, and it's not some kind of a cool thing to be out there on Burnside holding a sign. You got if you're a fighter, man, you got to go get that prize, in my opinion.
Enough, Chael. I can't buy into it anymore. I love Michael Chandler. I love the positivity. I love a guy that believes in something that is going to fight for that thing. I love everything Mike stands for. But enough, right? Like you said, Joe, man's been unemployed. He has not fought. The man would have made much more money had he fought instead of waiting. I get it. But like, Joe, you and I both know this ain't the hardest fight. Because if you wanted the hardest fight, you could have fought somebody else already. What have happened? This is a fight that you believe that you will gain from, not only financially, but you believe that your level of stardom will raise because you beat Conor McGregor. That's simple. It's not all this other stuff. You want that fight because that fight ultimately will help to build your brand as you get older. It's simple. Tell us the truth, Mike. Tell us the truth. Tell us why you're still waiting for this man 2 years in, and that's okay. That's no knock on you why you're waiting. You're waiting because you know that you can beat this dude, and you're waiting because you know this is the biggest payday you can get, and you're waiting because you know that ultimately it elevates you to a level without as much risk than anyone else in the division. It's that simple. Tell us
Daniel,
why.
we've never seen it
Tell
really
us the
work
truth.
out for anybody that waits. And we've also never seen anybody wait this long. But I will tell you something. The theory of wait, Sean Strickland's going through it right now. Just to offer a recent example, the theory of wait is I don't want to risk getting beat. I won and I did what I need to do. Michael Chandler's coming off of a loss. He's coming off a loss at a different weight class over a dude who may or not may be retired by now. I mean, it's one of these, what difference does it make? We're making up weight classes. We're fighting for no reason. There's no 5 rounds. I have the foggiest idea why they're doing that. On the other side, we can't even get the guy to the ring. And when you're being positive and you're being, well, if it's just you, you can do it. But if you got to count on somebody else, like if you're living the disciplined lifestyle because it's the right thing to do, well, does that really work when the equation to come together has got another guy that's at the club at 3 a.m? It's one of those things. Chandler, here's the message. I spoke to the UFC. Conor McGregor, I am your next fight, but you may not be mine. I'm going to go do whatever I do. But when you come back, I will be waiting for you. The end. And then just see if it holds up. It might not. Like, things change quickly.
Well, it has to be me. If you're Michael Chandler, you just say it has to be me. Regardless, when you come back, it's me. But I'm fighting somebody else. And guess what? The only problem with that is if Mike goes out there and he looks too good, McGregor might not fight. It's that simple. And I think he does not want to run the risk of losing this fight. Now, I said, Chael, that you benefit from beating Conor McGregor. Another guy that benefited from beating Conor McGregor is Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier this morning spoke about his fighting future. And he said, they should have never given this kid Wi-Fi. Destruction and destroy, uno mas. So essentially, it sounds like to me, Dustin wants to fight again, Chael. What do you make of this? Because honestly, if I'm being completely honest, as I look at my iPad, I don't even know what Dustin said. I am not cool enough to know what that statement was, Chael. What does that mean? One more match or something? What does that
Uno
mean?
mas, yes. Roberto Duran made that famous. He stated no mas, and they rematched him against Sugar Ray Leonard, and that was called Uno mas. So I happen to know that from my time as an 11-year-old boxing fan. Now, I will tell you this, though. Who was he speaking to? That's the part that I don't know. Who should have he not given Wi-Fi? Is he talking about himself? Is he the kid he's referencing? Or did he get a statement from Conor McGregor, who is pretty busy on social media? I mean, I don't quite know where that's coming from. If Dustin Poirier was to come back, I do think there's a number of very interesting matches. But to act like Poirier couldn't come in and swoop up the Chandler fight or steal the Conor fight or do a number of very exciting things. I mean, that guy's a major player that's floating around the division. And Justin Gaethje's out there. I think we can have some real fun predicting what's next for Poirier, but I do take that as a statement. I spent a lot of time with Poirier over the weekend. Did our show together, got to work the post-show and pre-show with him. Fans were coming around, and they were chanting one more fight. And I don't know how they all knew to do that, but Dustin Poirier is a massive star, even bigger than I knew that he was. Daniel, he just answered the question, and he says uno mas. He's answering the question that he was asked all weekend, and he's confirming one more fight.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, thank you. So you see, it's good to have cool friends who are like in the know because I'm not cool and I didn't know what he meant. But thank you, Uncle Chael. I appreciate it. If he's doing one more, Chael, I say put him in there with Justin Gaethje one more time. They've got 1-1. He fought for the BMF title. Let them fight each other again. Both of them don't have great direction in terms of what they're doing right now, because obviously Justin lost to Dustin in the BMF title fight. Then Dustin lost to Islam. I say you match him up again. I don't want to see Dustin Poirier in there with one of the young guys, Fiziev or Sarukian, or I want to see him in there with a guy that's going to go in there and put on the show with him. I know that him and Justin Gaethje will do that. So I say match him up again, Chael. I know it's only been like 2 years. Match him up again. Let him fight again. It'll always be fun. And that's what I would like to see Dustin and Diamond do. I thought I also saw him tweet something to Islam about a rematch. I don't know that that works right now, but I do believe him and Justin Gaethje would be a fun fight, as it always will be. Chael, last weekend was fun. Great performance by Alex Pereira. The craziness that surrounded the co-main event, but with great fight cards leads to breaks. So Chael and I get a day off. Oh my goodness, Chael. We don't have a show on Thursday, but next week, Chael and I are back. And we'll go back to our normal schedule every Monday and Thursday. You can catch us on ESPN MMA YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. For the Bad Black Chael Sonnen, I'm Daniel Cormier. Until next time, peace. Happy 4th of July, guys.